for this film, and which shows us in a very sensitive way the situation of the people in Futaba. And we also, in which we also get to know a man who changed his convictions a lot until the incident. I was wondering, my question is, how was the information situation before the incident in Japan? And did you ever speak with the mayor about doubts he had during all those years, or especially in the beginning?
You're talking about the beginning of the filming? It's because I started filming after the March 11.
No, sorry, the beginning of the building of the plant.
Oh, okay, so as he just said, he was a believer of nuclear power energy, and he's been a long time a pro-nuclear person, and that's how he got elected. And he was pushing forward this reactor number 7 and 8. So if this March 11 didn't happen, he had actually started building the new reactors. So I've been talking with him, and it was a very interesting arc, because he at the beginning he was very protective towards the media, because he didn't admit at the beginning, but of course he knew his decision inviting the nuclear reactors into his town was contradictory itself, because it really it's haunted the entire town, and so he really didn't want to be asked about this. Okay, so you've been always the pro-nuclear reactors, and so what's the feeling like? Like if you ask that kind of question, he was rejecting at the beginning, and I thought I should stick around. That's what I felt. So I didn't get into the argument with him, but I was hanging out because I was feeling it is very important to depict the time of waiting while the government is not doing anything. I thought that the waiting time is one of the most important focus of the film. So I thought I should be patient with this mayor. Then he came down. He's now really open to admit that he was wrong. But it was very difficult after the first 2 or 3 months. He didn't talk much about it. But I think he's out of his a strong urge that he has to protect his citizens, his town people, because his townspeople has been ignored without getting right health checkup for the exposure. They didn't get even now. And TEPCO's got a full, it's called WBC, whole body counter. And it's a very expensive machine to check up all the exposure of radiation internally and externally. And TEPCO got a full machines, and then government and Fukushima prefecture said a long time ago, 6-7 months ago, they're going to do a thorough checkups of all Fukushima people. And some of the town went through that, but it's no one of Futaba didn't go through yet. So the mayor actually asked around many people, and also put together a little bit of town budget, and they decided they're going to buy WBC by themselves. It's a very expensive one, but they get the loan, and they put that one machine in the high school. So Futaba is little by little independently try to protect its own townspeople, while the government is so inactive.
Are the people still in the high school?
About 573 people as of yesterday.
I was asking before also towards the politics of information. not only before the incident happened, but also when atomic energy came up in Japan. Just to get to your producer now, I would like to ask her as a producer, if a film like that is going to be, is there any chance to broadcast a film like that in TV? Japanese TV.
あると思います。この事故がある前、原子力発電所ができた初期の頃には、みんな原子力がどうなるんだろうと関心が日本中は持っていました。でもできてから安全だということで40年間電気をいっぱいもらっている私たち東京の人もあまりにも原子力発電所について無知で無関心だったことをとても恥じています。
Yes, I think there is a chance that this film will be broadcast on TV. Actually, when the nuclear power plant technology was introduced into Japan 40 years ago, of course there was an interest into this new technology, and people had their doubts. But then, within these 40 years, everybody thought it's safe. So we in Tokyo, especially, where we actually profited from that immense amount of electricity which is produced by the power plants, we were actually very ignorant and we didn't have any knowledge, and this is very embarrassing for us now.
事故があって初めて原子力発電所っていうのはこういうことだったっていうのが今日本中の方が知っていますし、でも本当に原発を推進した人たちだけじゃなくて、それについて無関心だった私たちも、同じようなやっぱり原子力を推進してきたことと変わらない立場なんだというふうに今は思っています。ですからいろんな情報をしっかり政府にも開示してもらいたいし、私たちも知らなければならないというふうに思っています。
So only after this terrible accident happened, we are now aware of actually the dangers of nuclear power, and I think that it's not only the people who are pro-nuclear power, but also the people like us who have been ignorant for so long. We are also responsible for that. So I think it's very important that information is being put out, and not only from the governmental side, but also in a more general sense.
I would like to add that in Germany it's maybe a little bit different because there was an anti-AKW so-called movement, but it got forgotten too. And after Chernobyl, it came up a little bit again. But then nobody, but few people only were thinking of it. And for some reason, I'm sorry that I mention that now, but just to get back to this responsibility of media and including film, last year it was very strange coincidence that we had this film here about security in a documentary about security systems in German nuclear plants, and there was no. It was a film called Unter Kontrolle, Under Control, and the very interesting thing was that there was not really a statement, but it was just showing very sober the control mechanisms, and when you got out of the film, you felt not very secure. And then Fukushima happened. It was really, but to come back to your film, I was wondering how you worked on that. You went directly to the center of the incident, and then you probably had a lot of material. I know that you had a version of 3 hours, and this one's now 2.5. So how did you, in what time frame, and how did you work that material out?
The part of the reason I decided by myself to do this very objective way of depicting what's going on. Like I didn't use any voiceover or anything. I just stepped back and tried to be as objective as possible. And I put many intertitles, but I just stated just the facts. So I didn't put any subjective view or anything. But by the way of editing, the order of the scenes. I included the very important scenes and I tried to make a narrative out of it. But it was very difficult procedure because the first cut was like a total footage was 300 hours, and the first cut was 11 hours. And it's just depicting an entire year. And then I cut it down to 5 hours. Then again, there's the deadline of Berlinale coming up, and so I cut it down to the 3 hours. And it was still 3 hours, and I sent it to the Berlinale, and they said, bring it over here. So I cut it down to 2 hours and a half. And it's some of you might felt a little, boring. But I shouldn't say this boring, but it felt a little long. But I have to say that I really wanted to depict this time of waiting, because that's their feeling every day, sitting there on the tatami mat in the classrooms with 20 people and eating those bento lunch boxes every day, and don't have jobs and don't have anything to do. So that's one of the most important thing I had to do. When you talk about the scenes, then maybe I can just put the very strong scene like those temporary return getting into the exclusion zone on the top of the film. I could have done it, but I thought it's just depicting the time is much more important. So you stay in this camp with them every day. So you see when they sleep, when they eat, and when they wake up, and they do those exercise, and then you go back and so feel that put your feet into their positions. That's what I really wanted to do, and that's one of the main focus of it. And part of the reason is that I felt like it's people are discussing all the politics, or even there are a lot of anti-nuclear movement in Tokyo or all over Japan. But one thing you notice is that the people who got affected most are the one neglected most. That's what I felt. And then, because especially right after the March 11th, in March and April, you see a lot of pictures of a tsunami, and you see a lot of pictures of explosion of hydrogen explosion on TV, and people are really scared. So they want to get the information of the radiation, especially it was close to Tokyo. That's why they want to. So there are a lot of documentaries on TV about the radiation and how much are safe and how much are not safe and that kind of stuff. But those images of people sitting on the classroom and eating just those bento lunch boxes, that's not really interesting pictures for them. And I thought that's really neglected, and that's the people who got most affected, and we have to film them.
Are there questions or comments from your side over there?
First, I just wanted to say thank you to you and your film crew for risking your health to go film and to show us what is actually going on there in Fukushima. And I wanted to say that during the Globale Festival, we screened some things about Chernobyl. And then one of the really amazing documentaries that we had there was Forever Chernobyl. And they'll be dealing with that for many generations to come. And so I think the situation in Fukushima is the same. It's going to take many, many years. And I'm just wondering, for me, I just started researching this, and it's probably beyond the scope of your own film. But the things that led Japan into getting into nuclear industry, I think it goes beyond the responsibility of TEPCO, and that there's actually French and US designs being used for the nuclear industry in Japan. And I wonder if it's possible to to put pressure on those companies that were also involved in constructing those reactors